Welcome to Election Special 2014, a Sunny Hirsch production. I'm your host, Avi Myers. I can't begin to tell you the importance a judge can play in your life. There's a lot of people who go, what is there to vote for on the Democratic side? Judges, sewer commissioners? Well, as for the so-called sewer commissioners, next time your house gets flooded or you've got other problems, it kind of does count what they do. Not to mention, it's nice to have the lack of pollution. In the case of judges, if you appear before a judge, at the very best, maybe you get slapped down with a $95 ticket, in traffic court or something like that. But, excuse me, on a much more serious level, it can affect your freedom, your life, your marriage, your family, whether you own your house or not. If a loved one passes away and there's a contested will, there's so many important things. I mean, a judge that reaches your life is going to make a much bigger difference than almost any other elected officials. I mean, listen, whatever these guys are doing, or actually whatever these guys are not doing in Washington, whatever these guys are not doing in Springfield, it'll raise your taxes a little bit, bother some people's pensions. What a judge does can have a very immediate effect on your life, even if you're a really good citizen, you're not going to be in court. Maybe that crook on the street needs to be taken off, and maybe you needed a good judge to get him off the street. So it is important. It is a pleasure at this point to introduce you to a sitting judge in the Circuit Court of Cook County, Judge Cynthia Cobbs. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I would be happy to. First of all, thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here. You are no stranger to most of us who are in a judicial campaign or a campaign of any sort. As Mr. Myers indicated, my name is Judge Cynthia Cobbs, and I am currently a circuit court judge. I've been a judge now by unanimous appointment of the Supreme Court of Illinois since September of 2011. I've spent much of my legal career actually in the judicial branch. After graduating law school, Chicago-Kent, I began to work for Justice Charles E. Freeman for a short while on the appellate court, and then in 1990 I went with him as his senior judicial law clerk to the Supreme Court of Illinois, where I served with him for nearly 7 years in that capacity. After 7 or so years as the senior clerk, I transitioned from my clerkship to the administrative office of the Illinois courts, which, as many individuals will know, is the constitutional arm of the Supreme Court. I served at the administrative office first as an attorney and then as its chief legal counsel. In 2002, I was honored to receive a telephone call from the then Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Moses Harrison, who offered to me the appointment to serve as the court's director of the Illinois courts. I served as the director overseeing the Illinois court system with the Supreme Court from 2002 until my appointment by the court in September of 2011. And so I now serve as a circuit court judge, serving in the Daly Center on the 11th floor every day, 9 to 5, sometimes 8 to 7, hearing civil matters from all kinds of cases, breach of contract, tort, property damage, those types of money claims. And so that's my career in a nutshell.
So very good. So 3 years on the bench, do you like it?
I absolutely love it. I liken being on the bench, or I say being on the bench, is really a continuation of my public service in the judicial branch. That's the branch of government really where I have cut my teeth. I have really learned a lot about the law, having written, analyzed, and written opinions on behalf of Justice Freeman for both the Supreme Court and the appellate court. And it gives me an opportunity to exercise to use both of my legal skills and most folks don't know, but also some of my social work skills.
Wow. You want to tell us about the social work skills?
I can do that. I am actually a clinical social worker. When I graduated undergraduate school, I had a passion for working with families and children. I began to work at a social services agency in Maryland and began working actually determining whether families were eligible to receive food stamps. And then began to work with the social work staff, beginning to work with families and children who were alleged to be the victims of abuse and neglect. So I did that for about 10 years, which took me into the court system. It was necessary to go into court to advocate for the children, to make certain that they were in